We'll start the video.
Welcome to Tech Rocketship Sweden. My name is Björn Axelsson and I work at the British Embassy in Stockholm for the Department for International Trade, where I support Swedish businesses looking to set up in the UK. The Tech Rocketship Awards is a European competition organized by the Department for International Trade with companies qualifying from across the continent. The goal is to find Europe's best tech companies and connect them with UK's world-leading ecosystem for venture capital, in-market advisors, customers, and support networks. Today, we are holding the Swedish leg of the competition, where 3 companies will be selected to go on to the semi-final, where they will face the other country winners. The companies here today have been selected from a large pool of applicants, and I'm thrilled to see that Sweden has such a strong lineup in the competition. The 3 companies that advance from this round are the winners of Tech Rocketship Awards Sweden. Today there is no first, second, and third place. The participants have been allowed to enter into the competition in 8 different categories. These are AI and data revolution, clean growth, connected consumers and creativity, digital economy and security, feeding nations, future mobility and travel, great tech for change, and tech for health and well-being. In the semi-final, which is the next round after today, the companies will be asked to submit a 2-minute video pitch. And from these, 3 companies per category will be selected to go on to the final. And in the final, there will be a single winner from each category, so 8 winners in total. The winners will receive a 3-day tailor-made business development program in the UK, business mentoring, introductions to investors, accelerators, advisors, and more. In addition to the pitches today, there will be a presentation by Annette Nordvall, early stage tech investor, on how to build the ultimate pitch deck. And later, when the jury is deciding on today's winners, there will also be a video on entrepreneurship during COVID-19. So, onto the format of the pitches. Each company has 2 minutes to pitch. No slides are allowed. The pitch might be followed by questions from the jury, and if the pitch is not finished after 2 minutes, I will have to stop the presenter. So please excuse me in advance if that happens. Also, if I have to stop during the Q&A, please excuse me in advance for that too. We have 13 companies pitching today, and these companies are divided into groups of 2, 7 companies in the first group. And as there are a number of companies presenting, I will have to be rather strict on the timings. So the pitching companies and the order that they will be pitching in is on the slide in front of you. We will be starting with Andreas Wilgert from Formulate, then go on to Sunil Dutt from Vembla, and then Alexander Soligub from Vivologica, followed by Philip Trager from Flary, and then Stefan Frank from Fabro, then Pablo Roldos from Estabuild, followed by Oskar Gröndal from Nodegraph, and that's group will be started by Aristo Togliatti from Loop, then Thomas Reimel from Susek, then Niklas Lohman from Heartland, and then Gustav Smith from WeHype, and then Wilhelm Sporang from Gamifiera. And last but not least, Alexander Sinnott from Smart Visualizer. The distinguished jury that will help us select 3 winners here today have a combined background from investment, academia, innovation, and the startup community. Annette Nordvall, she's an active early-stage tech investor, CEO and chapter president for Keiretsu for Nordics, and also founder and managing partner of Cross Nordic Capital. And then we have Donny Ligonis, innovation strategist and business coach at KDH Innovation, and 5-time TEDx speaker. And then Jessica Stark, who's the co-founder of Sub46, previously marketing and communications manager at Sting, now CEO of Stark Communication. So we're almost there. We're almost ready to start the first pitch. But before we get started, let me throw some questions at the jury. I'll start with you, Annette. What are your expectations for today?
Well, obviously, the fast pitches is going to be fascinating to hear so many companies in a short amount of time, and I am excited to be able to participate. Obviously, love to work together with Donna and Jessica, so this is going to be a fun day. Thanks for being invited.
Great, thank you, Annette. And Donny, do you have any?
Sorry, you broke up there a bit, but I think the question was directed to me, right? I think, Björn?
Yes, sorry. Do you have any last minute tips?
But of course, it's great to be here. Great to see everybody, all the good friends online. Last minute advice, just, relax, have fun, enjoy the fact that you were actually picked to pitch today. So, you're already here. So, just go with the flow. You know your thing. Just have fun.
Thanks, Donny. And Jessica, what will you be looking for in the pitches today?
Yes, so we'll be looking for the product services uniqueness, scalability, traction, the ambitions for the UK market, and of course I'm eager to listen to clear arguments, what the price would mean for the company. So how well will the pitch be delivered to cover these areas I mentioned, where I also want to feel a large portion of passion and conviction, of course.
Thanks, Jessica. That's great. So first up, we have Andreas Wilgert, who's the co-founder and CEO of Formulate. Joe, before Andreas gets started, can you please remove the slides and focus the camera on Andreas, and then I will start the timer as soon as Andreas gets going.
So hello, everybody. Are we good to go? I think so.
Yes, there we go.
Very nice to meet you, everybody. I'm Andreas, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Formulate. And we believe that retailers deserve great tools that help them make the right decisions. And retail is in a transition phase towards automation and AI, and COVID has further highlighted the need for retailers to transform and also the need for good evaluation and forecasting of their business. Formulate offers an AI solution that automatically evaluates past and forecasts future promotions, helping retailers to improve their business. And today, up to 50% of retail revenue is sold on promotion, but nearly half of those promotions cost more than they make. And why is that? Well, retailers typically run hundreds of promotions every week, and it's this sheer number of promotions that makes it very difficult to see which ones are working and which don't. And analyzing promotions at scale is hugely complex, and it requires machine learning skills that most retailers don't have. And the reality for many retail professionals today is the constant passing around of Excel sheets and different calculations, and each department has their own set of KPIs to evaluate their promotion performance. So enter Formulate. We give everyday retailers the analytics capabilities that once belonged only to Amazon or Alibaba. And using our software, retailers can evaluate and optimize their promotions and improve promotion profits by 15%. It also helps the campaign teams to up their game when they negotiate with their suppliers by knowing which promotions will work and which don't. And today, the largest grocery, convenience, and pharmacy retailers in the Nordics currently use our solution. And right now, we're expanding sales into Europe by developing a network of great partners. And actually, last week we closed our first UK customer, so we're very excited about that, and we see a huge potential for increasing our efforts into the UK retail market, and we think that UK in general is just a good place for retail tech. So thanks a lot for listening, and happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Andreas. Any questions from the jury?
What would the price mean for you?
I think as we're on a route of expanding into different markets, we see also that the UK is a very interesting place to go. It's an interesting ecosystem to be in. So anything that can help us build our credibility and establish networks into the UK market means a lot to us, and that's why I think this is important for us.
Any further questions from the jury?
It was such a short time, but thank you so much for your presentation. It's really interesting. I obviously want to go dive into all the numbers and all that stuff, but we don't have time for that today. But I'm glad that you have some action going and already are into the UK with one of the businesses. I just want to congratulate you on that.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andreas. Next up, Sunil, who's the founder and CEO of Vembla. Sunil, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Björn, and pleasure to see you all. I'm sure that it's no surprise to you that online grocery shopping has seen a jump in growth in the past couple of months. More and more customers are giving up the traditional way of navigating in a store designed like a maze, standing in a long queue and carrying home heavy bags on a cold and rainy day. Vembla is an easy-to-use, hyper-local app for groceries and pharma, delivering from store to door within 60 minutes. Our customers simply download our app, select their favorite store, and can shop from over 20,000 products conveniently from their couch at home. Our shoppers standing by accept the orders, go to the selected store, pick the items, and deliver with our 100% emission-free bicycles and cargo bikes. We're proud that Vembla has successfully bridged the gap between offline and online in this challenging pandemic. We're not only helping our local partner stores reach more customers to our tech platform, we're also making sure that elderly and risk groups can safely stay at home and do grocery shopping as conveniently as possible. Vembla is currently available in Stockholm, and we have 15 of the largest stores in the city present on our platform. Our revenues have grown over 150% in just the past couple of months, and we're attracting more and more new customers every day. Our customer satisfaction is high. We have an NPS score of 75%, which is outperforming all competition in Sweden. Thanks to our strong performance, we received multiple honorary awards and were selected as one of the top 10 grocery startups in Europe and one of Startup Pill's 101 marketplaces to look out for globally in 2020. We have very ambitious plans to go international with our scalable platform, and we see the UK with its very attractive grocery market as our next stop. And as entrepreneurs, we know we need all the help we can get to make that a reality, and that's why we're here pitching today. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunil. Over to you, the jury.
All right, thank you so much for your pitch. Really exciting. Sunil, this is a really tricky area, of course, with home delivery, but it's also really an opportunity. So how many stores can you actually bring on per weekday, or how does it do? Do I ask for that, or is it something that you need to do back end?
So you mean you as a customer asking us if we can? We do get requests from customers all the time. Getting a store onboarded to the platform doesn't take more than a couple of hours. Like I mentioned, in Sweden, we have a product inventory of roughly 20,000 products. So it's literally a question of just uploading product files and price files, along with obviously the coordinates of the store. It does take a little bit of time to build up the database, of course, when we enter new markets and new countries. Mm-hmm. But we see that we have that scalability in the platform, and moreover, we have the infrastructure of making last mile delivery very efficient. So our shoppers, for instance, use an app where they can pick and pack products very easily. And I think that's sort of the trick to make this work, because you mentioned it is quite challenging.
Yeah. No, and are you affiliated with the taxi drivers, or what is your platform that you have the drivers for? Or do you have your own?
We have our own platform, and the shoppers work for us. So a few of them are sort of gigsters or independent contractors, and a few of them are on an hourly wage with us.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sunil. Any other comments, or should we go on to the next company?
How much money have you raised so far?
We've raised roughly 1 million euros to date.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you for your pitch.
Thank you.
Next up is Alexander Sologub, who's the CEO of Vivologica. The floor is yours, Alexander.
Hi, thank you. So, in our drugs, vaccines, and 25 million animals are used every year for research purposes. And regulations forces researchers to individuals for every animal in order to keep track of the ethical aspects. And this is great, but there are no technical options for the researchers to use to fulfill these demands. So researchers spend today up to 50% of their time on the manual and time-consuming tasks to fulfill these EU demands. And Vivologica have created a digital system automating these tasks so the researchers can spend all their time on the value-creating research to save lives. And we developed this with 10 leading research institutes in Europe, including one in UK, which is Nottingham Trent University. And today the system is used by all these research institutes, and we are also seeing a huge growth in both Europe and the US for this system. And what makes us unique is that there are no such systems today fulfilling these EU regulations, and this is why the researchers have chosen to develop the system together with us. And is a SaaS solution, which means that the researchers have to spend just a small amount of money to use the system, and we spread the costs for the system for all the users instead of having these heavy and expensive on-premise solutions that most researchers had before. And what we see as a potential company is it's only growing, and we see more and more researchers wanting to use our system to save up to 75% of the time they usually spent on manual research administration. And for the UK, we see also a huge potential since there is a great research hub within the preclinical studies, which is the animal research, which we have focused on. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. Thank you. Over to the jury. Any questions?
I just have one question. I mean, you started off by saying that there is no other product out there today that they use, and then you ended by saying that they don't have to use the old products that they have. So I didn't get the.
Okay. Yeah. They previously they had systems that made partly what the EU regulations forced, but not these digital journals that they are supposed to do now. So the systems had like parts of it, but not the whole process that they are forced to do now. So that's why the previous systems don't work all the way.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions to Alexander?
Thank you for a really nice presentation, and then also of a very important thing to do. You say that there's no competition. I'm going to go back to that and say that who would the competition then be, if not the old stuff that is used, but what is the uniqueness with your product?
Yeah. We have competitors that does parts of what the researchers are forced to do, but not fulfilling the compliance part that are guiding the researchers due to the new EU regulations, which mean they can't go out and break the rules that the new rules that they need to follow. So our competitors would be companies that have done technical solutions in other similar parts of what the researchers are forced to do. But the new EU regulations have no competitors that are doing all the compliance parts and also doing the digital journals with one click, and also be able to send to authorities directly. So, until today, there are no one doing the same thing, and that's why all these 10 research institutes have collaborated with us, because they needed this and they didn't find any other solution.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear, the collaboration partners. Do you have soft money for that venture that you have, or is it raised money from PEs?
Until today, it's ourselves, the founders, and also we've raised £400,000 from angel investors.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you, Alexander. Next up, we have Philip Trager, who's the co-founder and CEO of Flary. The floor is yours, Philip.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see everyone. My name is Philip, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Flary. And we are an entertainment company within the media industry, working primarily with different types of media and advertising agencies, and of course also directly with brands. And what we do is that we offer a scalable solution for advert gaming, meaning that we, within minutes, can create branded games that can be played on any channel globally. So, for example, it could be a game with Coca-Cola, where you are creating your own taste, and then consumer then can play on, for example, Instagram. And the reason we do this is because marketing in general is turning into a digital landscape where brands only get a few seconds with the consumer. On Facebook, for example, it is 1.7 seconds. And there is lots of new research showing that this is not enough. With our games, brands instead get several minutes instead of seconds with the consumer, giving them 15 times higher effect than in their traditional marketing. So on average, 15 people instead of one is remembering the brand and the message. We're working with over 100 brands today, such as Unilever, Microsoft, Spotify, on 10 different markets. And our games are being played by millions of people around the world. And the reason for us to focus a lot on the UK market is it's because it's the center of Europe for media, meaning that it creates great opportunities within that sector, but also works as a stepping stone for the expansion further into Europe and for a global expansion as well, which is the ambition long term. And we already today are working with a few partners in the UK. And to be part of this and to be a winner here will mean a lot to us and make a better foundation to stand on and greater opportunities for us to go into the UK market in a more flexible and easy way. And then, of course, easier for us to put even more effort from our side. So looking forward to further expansion there, and thank you, and open for questions.
Thank you, Philip. Over to the Jerry. Any questions?
It's such a bad thing to be all silent. So I was thinking my partners would do something, because now I'm hogging the microphone. Thank you so much for a very interesting presentation, and really a really nice traction that you guys have. You said, do you have millions of users already?
Yeah, so we have two parts of our platform. We have a technology that can be used on any platform like Instagram, Facebook, or email, or whatever. And that is used by a couple of million people around the world. And then also in Sweden, we have our own app, which has over 1 million users in Sweden, so a little bit more than 10% of the population.
Who is your favorite customer? Who would be your number one customer that you want to have?
I think today we're working with very broad number of genres, but we are working much with FMCGs, so like Coca-Cola, Unilever, companies like that.
All right, cool. Ask Björn to put you guys together with the ones in the UK.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's the best feedback you'd like to hear from your customers?
I would say that we are very good on making people to remember the message. So because you are both active when you're playing the branded games and you do it for a long time. So instead of just seeing an ad or a video for 2 seconds or 1 second, you spend a lot of time. So you actually remember what the brands are saying. So we can do a lot of studies afterwards to see that 58% of everyone that plays actually remembers the message and the brand. And which is really interesting because that is something that works for every brand. So we work with banks and stuff like that as well because they want to create likability and get people to remember what they want to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Any last comments or questions? No? Okay, thank you very much, Philip. Next up, we have Stefan Frank, who's VP Strategic Accounts at Favro. Stefan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Björn. So hi, my name is Stefan. I'm the VP of Strategic Accounts here at Favro. We are a fast-growing startup headquartered here in Uppsala, Sweden, and we're developing teams in Vietnam and Ukraine. We serve our almost 2,000 customers with a cloud software and product team collaboration platform. We developed Favro for teams that both need a lot of autonomy, yet alignment across teams as they grow. So let me give you an example. Riot Games, for example, they started to use Favro for a small marketing team as a startup. And today they have plus 5,000 team members onboarded with Favro to collaborate across marketing, R&D, and various creative teams. So a company like that are, of course, tight on budget and time pressure, but still need to be extremely creative to be successful and to cope with the market change, like most companies these days. So other types of customers are Bonnier News, Rickstev, SAP, PwC, Unity. So as you surely understand, the market potential is for Favro is huge due to the fit for any organization, small to big, and most type of industries. So think about it again, like Favro, you can organize the entire business to be running like a lot of speedboats, still being operated within a fleet with a common strategy and goals that are aligned. Favro has been seed financed from our co-founders that successfully sold another company, and we have some other strong investors on board like Creandum and Hasselplattner Venture. We initially marketed Favro mainly through social media, and now we're expanding more on the sales org as well. Where, of course, UK market with the media landscape, for example, it's extremely interesting in Europe. And the timing is also perfect since a lot of people now working from home and need further support for working in a distributed fashion and still being creative in this new type of world we're living in. So, yeah, that's basically it. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Over to the jury.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Stefan. Thanks for a good pitch. This is, of course, you didn't mention anything about competitors or the competitive market because it, as a first at the first glance, it feels like a very competitive market. But I would just like to hear more about, the UK per se. I mean, what do you see specifically with the UK as interesting for Favro?
I mean, we are extremely global, so we go for any market. But UK, as I said, they have a lot of media type of company. And as I said, Rickstev, Bonnier News, we have a company called Barrows that are in UK already. So media company, they work a lot of, innovative teams in new fashion this way. So it's a good fit for us. And I think about 5% is UK customer of our 2,000 clients right now. So it's a good hot spot for us to grow within Europe.
And are we mainly targeting larger companies? Because the most of the names that you mentioned are larger companies.
Those are the famous ones. But the cool stuff is that with the 2,000 clients, I would say I'm responsible for the top 60, 70. Those are the famous brands. Many of the other are small startups. So it can be game companies, small media houses, or small consultancy houses. So a lot of the clients, you can be from 15, 20 people, and you need to collaborate in a few teams. And then Favro, by some have it more or less like their ERP. They do sales, marketing, all the collaboration. Small company within Favro. So it's a mix for sure.
Okay, thank you.
What's your top priority to be able to scale fast?
Yeah, so of course we do a lot of online marketing, as I said, but that's tricky because it's a crowded space as well. We're doing good there, but now we want to expand a little bit more with more classical, inside sales and sales org as well, since we have such amazing references now. And also we can expand a lot within the accounts we already have. For example, PwC, we have about 700 users in Finland with them. But of course, PwC have, almost 200,000 employees across the world. So if we can take that reference and go into PwC UK or new markets, has a huge potential, but there we need to work more with classical account management and expand our sales team from that perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Stefan. Next up, we have Pablo Roldos from Estabuild. He's the co-founder and CEO of the company.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. Construction is one of the largest industries in the world, and it's one of the last ones to digitize. In the last 2 to 3 years, construction companies have been catching up with technology adoption and really embracing it. Nonetheless, most of the adoption is happening at the operational level. Construction project stakeholders such as property developers, joint venture partners, and other financiers have been left behind and feel frustrated with the current solutions. The relationships between the project team executing the work and the stakeholders is complex. Construction projects are very dynamic, are ever-changing, which makes it very difficult for everyone to be aligned and on the same page. After working over 10 years in the industry, I've experienced and validated the main challenges a construction project stakeholder has, which led me to co-found Estabuild, an all-in-one web application platform for construction project stakeholders to track the budget performance, monitor the timeline progress, oversee scope of work development, and all of this is handled 100% remote and in real time. What makes us unique is that we are an ultra lightweight solution with a low entry barrier and is tailor-made to meet the stakeholders' needs. Estabuild is a tool that promotes interoperability and seamlessly integrates to already used tools by the construction project management team to streamline the information that is already captured at the project site level. We started our journey in September 2019, and we have developed a working beta version and currently have paying customers with dozens of projects active in the platform. We have secured part of our seed fundraising and currently looking to partner up with investors to complete the round. UK is an extremely attractive market for 2 reasons. First, the construction activity levels. UK is the country with the most construction spend in Europe. And second, London is one of the most important financial hubs in the world. A lot of the money allocated to construction endeavors are sourced from this financial hub in London. Being able to enter the UK market will be a game changer not only for us, but also for the UK companies and financial players involved in construction projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo. Over to the jury.
All right. Thank you for an interesting pitch, Pablo. Can you just elaborate around your customers? I didn't get that. I didn't listen, but.
Yeah, so we have traction in Sweden, in the US, and Latin America. We started with pilot clients, and we currently have transitioned to paying customers based on those pilots.
Okay, so it's proof of concepts or pilots?
So we started with proof of concepts, and now they're paying clients with pilots.
All right.
Okay, so you have paying clients for the moment?
Yes, I do, which happened the last couple of months. So that's a great
Right.
milestone.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you, Pablo. And on to the final pitch of Group 1. We have Oskar Gröndahl, who's the CEO at NodeGraph. Oskar, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Björn. Hope you are all still awake. Did you know that in Sweden, we have 5 elephants living in the wild? That's really amazing, right? 3 out of those are living on the west coast, but 2 elephants are living on the island of Gotland. Isn't that strange? So, do you trust my story? No, probably not. Do you know where the data is coming from when I tell you this? Probably not. What you would do now is that you would probably go to Google, try to find this data around the 5 elephants living in Sweden. The challenge today is that the organizations around the world, they don't have a Google for their data. So what we do at Nograph is that we make sure that you can find your data, but more importantly, trust your data. So we have 150 customers around the world today. We resell through a partner network. We have 55 partners today. UK is one of our strongest markets, and it will be really great to have a Nograph team on site in the UK, enabling the next step for Nograph. We sell Nograph as a service, and it's obviously a B2B product. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Oscar. Any questions?
Can you tell me a little bit more about the competitive landscape?
Yeah, sure. So we are in the landscape called data intelligence. And fortunately, we have competitors that are educating the market, because I think this is a fairly new market when it comes to data intelligence. We have competitors like the traditional one, like maybe Informatica and companies like that, but we also have the new ones like Colibra, for instance. What makes us unique in this position is what we are doing is automation. If you try to see what we are doing in a manual way, you will never be successful, because the speed your business, the organization is running in today, your IT department will never keep up if you do it manual. So we do it automated, and that's the key to our success so far.
Thank you for a waking up call. Or did you want to start, Donny?
Yeah, I can just jump in with a question. Just a clarifying question. Thank you, Oscar, for an interesting pitch. Just have a question on the data, because you started talking about, you gave an example of external data, and then you started talking about internal data. And I haven't gotten it yet if we're talking about the company's data for the company itself, or company looking for data outside of the company. So could you just clarify which data we're talking about?
It's a very good question. And we're not talking about data. We're talking about elephants. Sorry, Donny. No, we're talking about the internal data. And I think this is really interesting, because I think there's a lot of companies out there today that don't even know that the data is not correct, but you still base your decision on that very same data. But we are talking about internal data. It could be sales data, it could be manufacturing data, it could be HR data, but the internal data that you have.
Thank you.
Right. So it doesn't matter which vertical it is in? You cover everything?
That's the thing. I know people love when you can do a vertical, but data is everywhere. So for us, everyone is facing the same issue here.
All right. That is a big rabbit hole to jump into.
It is a good challenge, and we have really high ambitions.
I bet you do.
Really exciting.
How much money have you raised?
We are bootstrapped as of now. We the co-founders, we sold our company when we saw this space in the market. We tried to find a product out there. We couldn't really find a product that we believe can deliver on this value that we would like to deliver on. So we sold that company. We are bootstrapped. In Q1, we are looking into bringing in external money.
Thank you very much, Oscar.
Thank you, Björn.
So that concludes the end of Group 1. We will now have a presentation from Annette. And I must say, so far, wow, I'm really impressed by all the pitches. You really kept the time, made some really good presentations, and I look forward to Group 2 following Annette's presentation. So, Joe, if you please can put on the slideshow, Annette will start presenting now. So I'll hand over to you, Annette. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been a good start this morning. I'm very happy to be here. Obviously, several of you have probably heard me before I'm thinking, because I think I speak everywhere. I just wanted to sort of give you some of the tips in the beginning of how you actually are doing sort of a perfect pitch. In my case, I'm an early stage investor, so I do actually invest from my own money that I've earned throughout the years. So there's always a question of what is OPM, other people's money. Some of you know that it's very complicated to get an investor on board, and usually you have to start with friends and family and then fools, and then when you get into the angel kind of segment, that's where it becomes really complicated. When do you start? Why do you start? And with whom and what am I putting the effort into? So to explain a little bit about the ecosystem, which you probably already are aware of, but I'm going to sort of humor you a little bit more. Obviously, the founders, and like we had one of the companies stated that they sold their own company and they have now financed their next venture, which I think is fantastic. The next level would be that you bring in developers that have the sort of soft money. They have something that they do, a skill that they have, and then they move into the company and you don't have to take other people's money. You just use that person's service and you divide a little bit about your company. You can do that in different segments. The next one, which in this case is the dolphin, it would be then the angel investor. When you start to bring in other people's money, you all of a sudden have to grow up. So all that company does now is you have to start to report. It's complicated. You have to do board work and you have to do all these other things that you might not really see. You only are looking for the money. But it comes both knowledge and interest from that group. So make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into. Obviously, on the top level, we see the angry shark, and that's not really the truth, but usually they take a lot of money from you or ownership of your company. They add a lot of money into you because they want you to grow, and they can be a little bit feisty if they don't get all the money or get all the numbers that you stated. So don't make shit up. Make sure that you deliver on everything that you're supposed to deliver, and make sure that you actually are honest when you are doing your presentation. Why I'm here is because I am a angel investor in an early stage. Therefore, I have a credential being in a Swedish magazine, and this is my claim to fame. I'm always looking into timing. Timing for me is the most important stuff that you can ever do. You can have the most brilliant idea and you will have enormous insight in the venture or the innovation that you want to do. But if you have really crummy timing, it's not going to happen for you anyway. It doesn't matter. You can look at it as a racehorse race, for example, like the picture here. You have a horse, you have a jockey, and you have the surface. Many investors, especially late investors, are always looking into team, and they say team is everything. I can put whatever function and so forth with these guys or girls because they're going to run with it. Not really true, because you still need to have that timing to the market. Innovation and venture overall is really important. Obviously, entrepreneur and team is very, very important, but the market and the basis of market needs to be there. As a private investor, I always say that you can't invest in the future if you are not saving the future. I have invested in a lot of industrial kind of greasy industry. I actually think that the more stuff I can do on that end, the better the world will be. So the UN goals are for me golden. You have to have that in the future of financing into a sustainable life, gender equality, climate action, you name it. But you need to make sure that you actually are doing something good for the environment or for your life or for whatever. But don't underestimate these goals, because now more than ever, it is actually this way that everybody is investing. I'm going to present for you something called 13 slides. And Donna and I, we went to Silicon Valley almost together on a really nice fellowship. And we were I had the opportunity to look into a lot of different angel groups, investor vehicles, and so forth. And you know that we're always looking into what's new and hot on the market. That's the reasons why we participate in panels, for example, connected to you to make sure that we tell you that I have money and I would love to invest if it works well. But for that sake, you were fantastic today in the first slot of companies to present exactly the objectives of what is needed. It's not that common that you always only get the 2 kind of minutes, but like Donny said and so forth, you guys are already on the home run. You already are qualified for to this final stage, which I think is really, really nice. I want you always to start very, very briefly with a tagline and overview of what your company does. Some of you did that very quickly. Some of you explained more on what is going on in the market. I appreciate that, but make sure that you get this super, super quick. What do we do? This is exactly what we do. A snazzy kind of tagline. Not even an elevated pitch. It's just a tagline. Make sure that you describe the problem after you have done that, because then I will actually start to know what you guys are doing and trying to do. The problem is not necessarily what is happening to the market and what others are doing. It's what you see as the biggest problem. Jump into what you're solving, exactly what you're solving. Some of you need to twist that around. You talk about, maybe not the problem first, but you have a solution for it, and then the customer. Make sure that you understand the weaving of the story. Who has this problem? Some of you mentioned it very clearly that it was XYZ companies, but make sure that you are describing the industry. It's not that we're stupid. We're kind of stupid because we're listening to so much information, and you eat, smell, drink, sleep with your innovation. We come in and we meet you a couple of minutes, and for us it needs to then click a little bit faster to understand if this is even something that I would invest in regarding my investment profile, companies that I'm looking for, or interest. Obviously, you need to address the market. Obviously, size is really important for me to understand how many actually customers are there. You have 100 customers or you have 1 million customers. They're all numbers, but in the large scope, I don't know how big that market is. You don't have to state that we think that we're going to get 3% and then that's going to be 59,000 billions. That's an awesome number to have, but will you actually be able to get that market? Make sure that you validate what the market looks for you. In all of your companies that you have presented now, you have solved something and you do it because you can, and you have fantastic advantages within that, which is the unfair advantage that you are sort of delivering the whole company for. Make sure that we know and showcase that who you are or who on the team has this unique qualifications for you guys to succeed. That is usually a longer presentation, but you should be able to cram this into the 2 to 2.5 minutes, telling that the team is blah, blah. My experience is XYZ. Make sure that we also understand the difference between what you guys are doing. Make sure that we understand that you have competition and the reason why you are better, so we don't have to ask that. It should be obvious that we have customers in this. We're solving something because we have an industry group that are looking into a better solution. We're actually working with a customer and we're solving a problem with the customer, which to me is a no-brainer, but not necessarily an inventor because you see the problem from another perspective. I want to understand your revenue model. How are you going to make money? You can state, the truth here that we haven't figured that one out yet. We're thinking that this is so and so in the beginning, but at this point where you guys are now, you should be able to tell me if this is a, set fee every year, subscription, drip, depending on people coming in, leaving your project and so forth. I would like to know how you actually are making money. Obviously, you need to tell about the team. When you have slides, it's easier to just click yourself through, but this is really, what is a team? What advisors do you have on board? If you have a board, what is their unique advantage? What is this, scope of what you guys are trying to do? I would like to know that because it evaluates also not only team, but also if you have an understanding to the market. Milestones, super important. If you have done, betas, if you have launched already, if you're doing POCs, or if this is paid pilots, whatever it's done, partners you have with you that you're collaborating with, and also if you're raising money. I would like to know how much money you have raised, or if you're only on, stipends and stuff like that, if you have loans and stuff like that. What terms were they? Is it a convertible, or is it equity, or whatever? function you have, let me know, or if it's a loan. Make sure that you tell me what you have used your funds for up to until date, and then also how long that money is going to last. Also add burning rate. If you have a burn rate for every month that you know that you have a team, and right now we're burning you through about 100,000 euros, that's fine for me to know, because then I also know how much money you actually are going to be able to raise again, because you always think that your money is going to be more, time is going to be shorter. It's always, count everything with pi, and then you will get what I'm saying. All right, I want you to end strong again with this presentation, with that tagline, or with an open-ended question. It's like, would you participate? Can I blah, blah, whatever. I want you as a customer. Whatever you guys do, understand that all the investors are sitting with an enormous amount of network around them, people they know. It's always 10 around each investor, so make sure that you actually are looking into the right one. You as a inventor or an entrepreneur, or whatever you're going to call you cannot work alone. You need to have a team around you of 4 people. Whatever time that you have spent is not time that you are sort of getting paid for prior to. It's the value that you bring in. And you should have that notion as well when you bring in early stage investors, friends and family. Can they even help you with something that you want? You're going to be stuck with that person that are putting in money into your company for a rather long time. So make sure that you actually are understanding that it's a dating process, and that also you will then be stuck in a marriage where you might have a divorce that is calculated or not. It depends on the venture. So therefore, really crappy slides, but that's because I took them offline or online. I want you to do SWOT matrix on everything that you guys are doing, making sure when you're having people on board, hiring people or whatever, because you need to understand where your USP is. If you surround yourself with like-minded, you're never going to get confrontations within the group. I want you to understand that you can be an inventor and you can be an entrepreneur, and that could be two in one. But you need to have an administrator and a marketer as well, because I think that you need to understand that you're more than wearing all these hats. If you have too many hats on, I will understand that you will not be able to delegate, and therefore you're going to be a little bit lost. So do your own assessment on how you are and how you want to make sure that the rest of the group are in there. You can do this, you can do astrology, you can do Myers-Briggs, you can do whatever, but understand that there's a private person behind all of this, and understand what actually triggers this person offline, because they're not going to work 24/7. It's one thing to come in and work, and there's another person who's actually on their free time. So make sure that you investigate everything. I have a fabulous team. I work together with a broad knowledge of people. This is the group around Cross Nordic Capital, which is adjacent to the membership of Career Forum Nordic. We started in Cross Nordic Capital last year. It's a yearly fund. And we freaking do it because we can. We really love what we're doing. We're investing all private investors, and we invest together in a joint venture alignment company that we invest in 10 companies each year, and we top up the process. This is through the Career Forum deal flow. You need to be, again, qualified to be able to pitch there. We have 9 of these meetings every year. This is how happy we were. Just before COVID in 2020, when we had 12 companies and we were about 200 investors in the same room. And that's the environment you need to be in. You need to be in an environment where you have investors that want to invest, and not people that say that they will invest if you have the opportunity to find someone, because it is a dating game. I want you to understand that this is for me also a way to both thank you all guys for having me here. I hope that you learned something. If you're interested in trying to see if you can raise some funds through Career Forum Nordics, I would have you to apply for that through me or through Emma Syring. Next forum meeting for us is on February 4th, 2021. And that was pretty much it. Thank you so much, guys. And now open to questions if you have anyone, which I love questions. So please go ahead. Don't hesitate.
Thanks a lot. There's a Q&A function that you're able to use if you have any questions. The panelists, you can also use your audio if you have any questions. Maybe I can start, Annette. So on the 13 slides that you presented, sort of the content of an ultimate or the perfect pitch. For you, would any of the different components of the pitch have a greater weight than the others? So basically, you talked about solution, target market, unfair advantage. In your opinion, which component would be most important to you?
Well, I mean, the most important thing is for me to understand what they're doing and the reason why. I rarely look into companies that are not, doing their working together or collaborating with the customers, because you can't solve a problem if nobody's. I mean, you can solve a bunch of problems, but if nobody buy that problem or the solution that you try to do, it doesn't make any sense. And usually that is the challenge, that we sit in our chamber, we have a good innovation or something, and then we think that this is an obvious thing that needs to be done. And there's so many problems that is solved without any real buyers. So that is actually, I want to see who you're working with and who you collaborate with. And then I want to know how much money you want to raise and how far you are, so I know if I can afford it. Because financial instrument is very important to me as well, to see if I can add any value. And it's more of that. If you contact me, you know what I can do, what I've been done so far. And I invest in hardware with software solution. I've been doing that for over 30 years. But I do med tech. I do, environmental platforms like We Don't Have Time, which is a social media application for climate action. So it's a lot of passion in what I do, but also an opportunity to move stuff. So some of the companies here are really very, very interesting to me.
Go Great. Thanks, Annette. I can't see any questions in the Q&A. Are there any questions from the panelists before we move on to the next group of pitches?
I can just say thanks, Annette, for a great pitch. And so, what's the UK market? No, I'm just joking. No, but some really good pointers there, and I agree with you on everything, especially the part on timing. Mm-hmm. I mean, innovation is timing.
Yep.
So yeah, and I'm also happy to see that all of the companies that are pitching here today are so far feel to be very, very well positioned in the race.
Yeah.
So thanks, Annette. Thank you. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Good. Thank you. Very nice to have you here, Donna, as my cheerleader.
I have a question about following up with timing. How do you validate that the timing is right? Is it based on like traction, product market fit? How do you see is it right timing or not?
Validating is to be able to actually pursue something together with the customer. So if you're planning and doing stuff with the customer, you will understand that you can get it. It's always a buyer on the other side. So because everybody who's innovating something, they think that everybody is sort of panting down their neck and they just want to make sure they steal your idea or do whatever, but it's not really so if you don't do it together with the customer. So if you're working with the customer, you have seen an opportunity, and several ones are asking for that kind of solution that you're working with. We have several of these ventures that have really taken advantage on the market today, which they have timing to, and including you. It's more of like, how will you be able to then, from where you are today, acquire more customers? How will you be able to then, acquiring customers is not stealing customers from others. It's actually, you can purchase customers or you can sell yourself to someone who wants to expand, whatever. So when you move into a market, do it together with a vendor that you know from the original country where you are in, or with someone who's licensing out software, or someone who's working in that genre in itself, and they feel that, this is something that we want to connect with. When you start to licensing out your products and so forth, it's always a push and pull opportunity for you. Either you work with them to make sure that they understand the market, or you have to put a person there and make sure that they actually are selling what you have. But it's all about collaborations with the market leaders, because those are the ones that everybody's looking at. Make sure that you have a compatible price, not too low, not too high, just good price,
Lagom.
Exact.
That's the key word, lagom. Thank you, Annette.
I have a further question.
Yeah.
how is the raising climate today? Because we're just starting looking at that, and we heard some mixed. There are some mixed signals that some say it's just as easy as before COVID, and some say it's tougher.
It depends on which level you are in when you're fundraising. I think a lot of angels are looking into what they have and then laying a little bit low. It's also complicated if they don't have the deal flow that we have at Keiretsu for our members to actually find deals. It's complicated for you guys to reach out to the people because there is no platform more than maybe Keiretsu that is also connected to, 23 other countries. We have 50 chapters. So it's all about getting that. But we have been investing all full year. We've done 6 investments this year, and we're probably going to do at least 2 or 3 more until we close. But, VCs, they are looking into what they have in their portfolio. So they're dispersing money to, if they're in the end of the investment period, they actually are adding money into already invested ones so they don't do new ones. So make sure that you do your investigation over where you actually have angels that are looking into deal flow as well. I mean, Stockholm is just one small thing. Gothenburg is super active depending on what you have. And there's a bunch of old, both freight money and Volvo money and so forth. So there's a lot of understand where your market is actually closer to. But people are investing, especially we are. So I'm very excited to set up the next fund for 21 because we do annual funds. So we're already fundraising. It's looking really good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Annette. Some really good pointers there. Now we're on to the next group of pitching companies. So there we go. And the first pitching company of this group is Loop. And Aristo Togliatti, who's the founder and CEO of Loop, will be pitching. So Aristo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having us. So Loop is really helping organizations globally to solve one of the critical challenges they're facing today, which is to make sure that they have the right skills within the organization to constantly innovate, transform, and develop their business. Because if they don't, then on the short, maybe not, but on the long term, they will definitely not be as competitive as they would like to be. And of course, there are several ways that companies try to create and improve skills. Some of these are e-learning and some are other kind of learning patterns, but they really haven't found the recipe to make it scalable and make it engaging. So those are the challenges they're facing. They know that they need to do something. And Loop comes in with a unique concept, which is called micro-mentoring. So basically, Loop is a software as a service that we provide to companies globally, where they connect their users and make sure that they unlock all the skills they have within the company. We know that employees have hundreds of skills, but often they're kind of locked into the specific individual or into the specific group or function, and they're not shared. What we do is really open up all these skills with our peer-to-peer concept. Users reach out to other peers, to other employees to learn new things, but at the same time, they also share the skills they have themselves. So it's a give and take. And obviously, this is, there are a lot of things that are unique to Loop, but I would say that the unique selling point is the user experience and the concept of micro, where we have 15-minute sessions between the users. That makes it scalable. And we have customers worldwide in Japan, in Singapore, Middle East, Europe, and we are scaling. Great market fit, great response from our prospects, and business model to the paper user.
Thank you, Aristo.
Thank you.
Any questions from the jury?
Can you tell me a little bit more about your plans and ambitions for the UK?
Yes, definitely. So UK is a very interesting market. We've had some kind of activity there with a partner, but unfortunately it wasn't the right partner for us. So now we're looking for a new partner. And we have, UK is on the radar as the next market we want to really work on.
Annette or Donny, any further questions?
Can you,
Yeah,
do you have an, okay, go ahead, Don. Go ahead, Donny. Sorry.
I have a question. Just again, when it comes to the customer side, sweet spot of customers. I mean, what would you say would be like the perfect size of a company to onboard onto Loop?
So we target big corporates, and we have a couple of Fortune 500 companies, and then smaller ones. But I'd say everything above 1,000 users or 1,000 employees starts to be relevant. And we also do smaller, so we have about 300 companies with 300 as well. But more or less there, it's where it really starts to get difficult to share the skills and understand what skills you do have in your company.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Aristo. Thank you for your presentation. Next up, we have Thomas Reimel, who's the founder and CEO of CSEC. Thomas, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here. So I'm the founder and CEO of CSEC, and CSEC digitizes the keys. The mobile will become our new keychain, and in the near future, all keys will be digital. There's no doubt about that. So what CSEC wants to create an easy everyday life for all people who live, works, and need access to the buildings, and we will transfer all the keys into the mobile. A digital smart lock is like an iPhone, so without any apps, it's useless. There will only be a value to the digital lock when you can add extra service and convenience and other needs around it. And the unique about CSEC is that we are manufacturer agnostic, so CSEC can open doors for everyone from one app. And it's an entirely software service platform that does not require any hardware installation whatsoever. And as a SaaS platform, sits on top of the existing access system. There's no need to rip out the existing hardware. In the UK, the largest city is approximately around 2.5 million entrance doors, but the type of doors and buildings that we can open are endless, like for residential building, offices, co-working places, and much, much more. So the UK will, of course, be a very important market for us in the future. Our business model is flexible, but a typical subscription model with CSEC and entrance door, and this will generate different type of revenue streams. Like for the last mile delivery companies who wants access to the building, 112 emergency, service and maintenance people, security people, property owners who want to have control over their buildings, and households that deliver, who wants to have delivery at home even when they're not there. So I will let you do the math by yourself, and but the financial scale of this technology is enormous. By giving CSEC this opportunity, it will be a good start for our company and on our establishing journey into the UK market, and would put us on the map with credibility for potential partners, customers, and future employees in UK. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Over to the jury. Any questions?
Do you have current clients right now that you're working with? You're delivering to systems right now?
Yes, we do. In Sweden, we do.
Okay. And then what is the biggest hurdle that you have there?
To get them to scale up from the pilot to scale up, but it's coming along really good.
All right. Okay. Do you have your own hardware?
No, as I said, we are agnostic. We don't use any hardware.
Okay, sorry.
So we integrate all other different hardware into our system.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the security aspect of your product? I mean,
yeah, it depends both on, of course, on our side, but it also depends on which lock manufacturer we integrate more, because we have to use their security as a communication between the app and the lock. But most of them are like TSL, so it's pretty much the same as a bank standard encryption scripts going all over.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. next up, we have Niklas Lohman, who's the co-founder and CEO of Heartland. Niklas, the floor is yours.
Okay, great to be here amongst all these good companies. I'm really impressed by everyone's presentation so far. So what about Heartland? People often call us the IKEA of online community platform. And yes, we believe it should be really simple and affordable to create an online home for your community initiative. Whether it's an expert community for product managers, a daycare, or a group of type 1 diabetes teens helping each other for better health outcomes. We want to be that safe, affordable home for these millions of community initiatives. So how do we address this? IKEA did not succeed by being slightly cheaper, slightly simpler, or slightly more innovative, and neither can we. So price. You can either go cheaper than free with us. That means that you get a free community and then we earn money together. Or you can go for the $8 community, which is really competent community, which is drastically lower priced than our competitors. Product, you get a complete Scandinavian designed community platform, plus a website, plus a customer support widget, plus a newsletter. So this means no more duct taping of different solutions. It also means that you can throw out Intercom, WordPress, and Major and save some money in the process. You get personal help by our AI that coaches you to go and create this vibrant community that you are building. Our team has built some of the solutions that you're using today, like when you're paying at ICA, when you're using Aftonbladet TV, or when you're using the Swiss solution at Nordea, for example. So where are we at as a company? We are a bit where Slack was before they did their official launch. So we have done a number of pilots. We have 9K users in the system. We are near break even in money, and we are now racing for scale up. When it comes to the NHS, we have initial contacts with the NHS to use communities to help chronically ill people, for example, diabetics, people, Alzheimer's and so on, families with Alzheimer's, so that they can be supported in this COVID situation.
Thank you, Niklas. Sorry, that's your 2 minutes up. Any questions from the jury?
Thank you so much for your presentation, Niklas. I like your background. It's really fits into the story.
Yeah.
All right. So the comment I have, or the question I sort of have, is that this is to create a safer environment than putting it on Facebook.
Yeah, it is, of course. And it's like data ethics and data money. So the ethics is, of course, brands don't want to be on Facebook anymore because they're getting scared. Thank you, Mark, for that. I mean, I'm really thankful because Mark trained millions of people in social technology, and then he scares them.
Yeah.
And they are now looking for options, and we want to be that option, right? So it's both like the data ethics, but it's also about the money in the data, because there is a lot of money that can be utilized. Like we give you the AI to have better community outcomes and so on. It can be used for healthcare.
Right.
So it's both about like, it's basic of money.
So is the main focus for you guys? Is it to be, I'm sure that you have some other, because you're mentioning the chronically ill people and those kinds of group. Is that because of your own challenge that you felt, or someone neighbor or in the group that did that, or what's the reason?
No, it's basically really because of a pilot. So we started collaborating with the Swedish innovative company called Writer. So we did a cooperation with them, and it ended up to be a study. But it's like Slack. I mean, you can use Slack for a number of things.
Yeah.
But they started out with tech teams. Now they're trying to do other things, and then they got busted by Microsoft, so they sold to Salesforce. But that's how things go.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What would the price mean for you, Niklas?
For me, it would be a further boost. Now we're looking at scale-up money, also to go to the UK, because we believe very much in that market. They really like Scandinavian tech, and they have huge problems in this first vertical that we're talking about, chronically ill. This has been exacerbated by COVID, but it's already a huge problem. I think like 7 out of 10 NHS pounds are spent on chronic disease. That is before COVID. So to use community there is data that supports that you can have better health outcomes. And just think the numbers, how many diabetics are there around the world, and so on. So it's a big thing, just this vertical.
Thank you.
Thank you, Niklas. Next up, we have Gustav Smith, who's the founder and chief partnership manager at WeHype. Gustav, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Cool. Hey guys. I guess you all know that gaming is booming, but did you know that more people tune in to watch their favorite gaming influencer than HBO and Netflix combined? And that in 2020, the gaming fans will make up more than 20% of the total internet population. As mentioned, my name is Gustav. I'm the founder of WeHype, a Swedish-based company connecting brands and people through influence marketing within the gaming. And by combining the world's biggest social media platforms such as Twitch and YouTube into one, we have become the world's largest esport and gaming media. We have built a platform for automation that handling campaign management and scale, including insights with big data to know which influencers that generates the most impact for the specific brand, but also measure the results of the campaign. We also have a campaign team which builds creative campaign formats that the gaming audience actually understand and engage with. We already launched over 1,300 campaigns with over 100 brands such as Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, McDonald's, Activision, Gillette, and many, many more. And then in the beginning of next year, we will close our Series A round that will enable us to level up our business from local to global, but also from gaming brands to any brand. And we strongly believe in the UK market as our global media hub. It's already a very established business for us. It generates over 30% of our revenue. And during 2021, we will increase our presence by recruiting key hires from the UK, bringing them here over to Sweden so they get to know WeHype and our company culture, and then with the goal to go back and open up our London office as soon as possible. Thanks. Stay hyped.
Great. Thank you, Gustav.
Great.
Over to the jury. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Gustav, for your really nice pitch. I love the background. Merry Christmas to you guys. Hope you guys are a little bit further than several of the other companies are. What is your biggest hurdle that you have right now?
Scale up more or less, like the growth. We are already working with clients globally, but it's more or less taking WeHype from Sweden out to be present in the UK, be present in Germany, and then US and Asia to come. So it's like growth more or less. That's our biggest challenge.
Do you have first mover advantage, or are you simulating something that someone else started but they couldn't follow through?
First mover, absolutely. We are the number one when it comes to gaming influencers, especially on Twitch.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Any further questions?
I think it would be great to hear a little bit more about like the value you give to your customers. Can you mention some more?
Absolutely. So first of all, our tech and the platform when it comes to insight, like who should you work with and in what kind of way should you work with the creators, but also our knowledge that we are gamers. We know what the gaming audience want to see. And for traditional brands, these people are super hard to reach. Like try to reach someone between 15 and 30, a younger man. They don't watch television. They don't read newspaper. For sure, you can reach them through Facebook and Instagram, but that's it. But we can actually reach them with engaging content through influencers on a big scale, both local but also global.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gustav. Up next, we have Wilhelm Sporrong, who's the co-founder and CEO of Gamifiera. Wilhelm, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I hope so. Great. Okay. Gamifiera is a gamified engagement-based customer loyalty platform for e-tailers and retailers. We add the exact same drivers and functionality as all social media and games to any e-tailer or retailer website to create a long-term superior customer experience online. Instead of using bonuses, cashbacks, spam, and traditional loyalty functionality that every modern customer is sick of, we add the functionality that makes customer want to come back and spend time on your site, just as people want to come back and spend time on social media platforms and games without any cashbacks, bonuses, and spam. Our SaaS platform was finished 6 months ago, and we can already prove live customer results that are unsurpassed. User-generated content creation is up 2,000%, 85 times more customers interact functionality, 1.5 million brand new customer interactions in 6 months for just one retailer. All growth is purely organic, and the long-term effects on, for instance, SEO, traffic, conversion, retention, quality, relevance, etc., are a complete game changer. Make no mistake, this is not about adding a little mini game to the customer journey as some other companies do. That kind of gamification addresses only one emotional driver with people, and it's limited in effect, and it's short term. We address all 8 emotional drivers, all the drivers that make people want to do things and do them long term. In a couple of months, our functionality will be live with some of the biggest players in the Nordics within fashion, beauty, consumer electronics, and groceries. We will want to scale up in Europe next year, beginning with the UK, because UK, of course, is a large and very mature market online, and it has no language barriers. Thank you very much for listening.
Great. Thank you very much, Willem. Any questions?
Okay, so what is Don? Isn't Don participating? No, I'm kidding. All right, thank you so much for Willem for a very interesting presentation. Can you elaborate a little bit on what experience I would actually get if I go into any of these stores?
Okay, so we have a SaaS platform, and the functionality, for instance, it's about letting people, adding commenting, liking, following, uploading pictures, community tools, statuses, scoreboards, levels, leveling up, achievements, avatars, digital incentives, digital events, and, of course, creating a personal customer experience with a, quite personal profile page, that where you can fill up all the activity that the customer has created, all the content, all the pictures, quite like a profile page on any social media. You create the sense of ownership by letting people have their personal space on your site where they can create a collection that increases in value, stuff like that.
What is your target audience? How age group?
So the same age as anyone that uses social media and games. So it's for everyone.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Have you raised any money so far?
Yeah, we raised an undisclosed amount of money last year from Well Street, and we're also a part of Google Launchpad, and we're thinking about doing a bigger round maybe next year, depending on how we want to scale up and how fast we want to scale up. We're waiting for we will have 5 very strong cases in Q1 from different segments, fashion and beauty, for instance, and we want to launch those functionalities first. They will be very important cases for us.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Willem. Now we have the final presentation or pitch of today, and it's Alexander Sinnert, who's the CEO of Smart Visualizer. Alexander, please, the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you guys. So I would like you to think of this. Imagine if you have Minecraft, Google Earth, and The Sims together. What kind of platform would that be? Could you use the word digital reality? I want you to keep that in mind. And now we take a role, the architect, who draws buildings and design buildings. And next we take the role of a drone, who measure and surveying existing infrastructure and buildings. Then we add OpenStreetMap and other created 3D data. The city planning people, we bring them in, we take in the politicians, the construction companies, the citizens, and the engineers, and so on. The problem there is today is that everybody is working in their own field and software is created for them. And there's not always the possibility to connect the platforms with each other. It's also about locking the users in those softwares. So the problems arises in the communication between people, software, data, and file formats. So I want you to bring you back to the imagination. If all of them and more people in other fields could join in one platform, where the already created data can be imported, where they can collaborate, work together, create, analyze, and share that created data. And all of this in one visualization platform, powered by AI on the web and in the cloud, where you can visualize 2D, 3D, share it in mobile platform, and show it as augmented reality. Then also be able to connect that all with smart city sensors and smart city connectivity. On live and direct. That's digital reality. That's our platform, Smart Visualizer. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Now over to the jury for questions.
Thank you, Alexander. I would love to hear more about your customer base. Do you have
Yeah, we have customers.
Yeah,
we have. We've been working for a couple of years. I came in the company a couple of months ago as a new partner. So we have existing customers in municipalities in Sweden, construction companies, and the mining industry. And the next area or the field of area we're working against is data providers, those who create data which needs to be visualized and delivered to their customers. So we have different angles of our business.
And about the UK market?
Yeah, it's we are in a very hectic period right now. So we are redoing our online onboarding platform. So it's get launched in Q1 2021. And then we are looking to the internationalization. We're probably entering the UK market during next spring, and Germany and other areas in Europe as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any final questions to Alexander? Okay, well, thank you very much, Alexander, and thank you to all the companies pitching today. We've had some great presentations, and I think it will be a very tough decision for the jury to select only 3 companies to go to the next round. So what will happen now is that the jury will have time to deliberate for 15 minutes, and at the same time there will be a video playing where 2 of our dealmakers from the Global Entrepreneurs Program at DIT, Tony Hughes and Liv Sivany, will speak about entrepreneurship in the UK during COVID-19. So the dealmakers' role is to support startups that are looking to relocate to the UK, and the dealmakers themselves are entrepreneurs, have experience from founding companies and working in the UK. So enjoy the video, go grab a coffee if you wish. We will be back to announce the winners in 15 minutes after the video is done. Sorry about that. And yes, see you shortly. Thank you. Okay, so that's the GEP team. We're now waiting for the jury to finish their discussions, and they will be with us in any moment. So I can give you a little bit more information about what we at the Department for International Trade do with companies looking to set up in the UK. So in my role, I work with Swedish businesses that are interested in expanding to the UK, and we provide a range of market information. We can help with finding office space, connect companies into relevant networks, whether that's industry networks, universities, or other networks that they need to be connected into. We can provide overviews of the UK, different regions, comparisons between the UK and other countries as well. If you have any questions about how we could support your company, do reach out. I'd be happy to speak with you. I see now that we have Annette is back, and Donny is back as well. Jessica is joining us as well. So 15 minutes to discuss all these pitches. You know, it's I'm sure they could have used a little bit more time, but it's quick pitches and a quick jury discussion as well. So let's see. Is Jessica back? Yep. Yes.
She said that she would maybe they have some challenges to get in, but here she is, so she's there.
Are the teams back?
Yes, she is.
Are the teams back?
Everybody's back and teams are back.
Are they?
Yes, it looks like all the teams are back.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So what I'll do is I'll ask each of you for a winner, and if you're able to give a little bit of a comment on why that company was selected, and so perhaps I'll start with.
So yeah, we have decided something else.
Yes.
Okay.
Annette will present.
We're doing it abroad here, no?
Okay.
Taking over.
So no, that's fine.
Annette will be the chair of the jury for this one.
Yeah, no problem. So Annette, I'll let you present the winners.
All right. So we thought that thank you so much, everyone who have participated in this contest, and I think that it's been quite some task also for Björn. I thank you, Björn, for having us as a jury participating, and then also for arranging it. I know that it's been a lot of fixing and so forth, since this is another kind of platform that we COVID-wise are not that used to, but I think it worked really, really well. Okay, one of the objectives that you guys were supposed to talk about was your interest in moving your business or having a business interest into the UK. I can say that not everyone was on point for that, which is one of the head things, and the reasons why you actually are going there is that you actually want to have that opportunity. Also, I understand that you're sitting in front of a computer. I don't want to diss anyone or hiss anyone. I don't know if you say that in English, but put in an elevator. But I want you guys, when you have, you only have like 2 minutes on, you need to practice away from your notes. You need to talk with passion, and, you need to understand that we're listening to you also with energy. And that was one of the things that we were putting you out into one of the total scores. Also, when you come from Sweden, we have the opportunity to actually pursue what we love and like here in the Nordics. You need to add sustainability. I know that you probably don't have sustainable or that you don't have teams that are diverse, that you are not named a target for a specific, environmental cause. Find that. Find a diverse team, add people to you, not only gender, add ages, other backgrounds and so forth. It's super, super important. And I want to emphasize that would be actually one of the game changers in the whole pitch event that you're doing, if you would address with honestly actually things that you're shifting and changing. With all that said, and the downer, so the be downer kind of job that I have, but I really think that you can take it in a good way. We were all concluded that we have 3 winners, and it's We Hype, it's Divologica, and then also Formulate. Those are the three companies. They didn't necessarily have the best pitches, although Rehype was pretty sweet. But I think that they're well represented from what we can see out of this group that we have today that are pitching for the semifinals, I think it is in that. Or is this the finals?
The next round is the semifinal, so this I guess was the quarterfinal, if you will.
This is the quarterfinal. So I think that we're happy about this. Donny and Jessica, do you want to jump in?
No, I can. I think you made some good points there. I think that sustainability being one of Sweden's strong points. I think that's something that you could factor into your pitches. And the thing with sustainability and the SDGs is that even if you're not actually sort of trying to solve specifically one of the goals, you can align yourself with the 17 goals and make sure that you have a SDG alignment as a startup, because that is, if nothing else, out of an investor perspective and out of a market perspective, and also out of saving the planet perspective, align yourself with the SDGs. And it is a Swedish very strong point. So that's something to take on to the next stage, I'd say, as well. But apart from that, I think it was tough. I mean, as I said to Björn and Jessica going into the jury meeting, there was that if it hadn't been tough, we would have picked the wrong cases from the start. So yes, it was tough. And doesn't mean yeah. But I'm happy. We're happy. I'm happy. It feels good, and it's great seeing all of the pictures as well. I mean, well done. Even though we know you can do better.
Yes, work hard. But thank you for participating. It's been awesome. Jessica, you want to say something? I'm just taking over here, Björn. I'm sorry.
No, but just what Annette says about really putting the passion and conviction in your pitches. I mean, that's super important. I know I definitely understand it's harder with a online concept, but I mean, this is really important for you all. But I mean, you have done a great job, and it was a hard decision.
Great. Use your American within you, the one that have all these superlatives and motions and stuff that you're doing, then you're going to be awesome.
Thank you to the jury, and congratulations to the winners. Maybe we can have some comments from the winning companies. So starting with Gustav from Rehype. Congratulations. How did it feel for you to pitch today?
Thank you very much. It feels great, also the opportunity to move on. We see UK and especially London as a huge opportunity for us. As mentioned, it is a big market already, but it's definitely on our radar for next year. It's a huge opportunity for us. And yeah, big thanks for everyone that participated and the jury. We're super happy.
Thank you, Gustav, and congratulations again. Alexander from Devologica. How do you feel following today's event, and what are your next steps?
I feel super thrilled, and thank you so much for a great competition and a great jury with great feedback. Our next step is to accelerate into UK and US. So this is a really good timing for us to get even more traction and networks perhaps in the future in these regions. So we're super happy.
Great. Congratulations, Alexander. And Andreas, congrats. So how did it feel for you to pitch today? Was there anything that you felt was particularly challenging with the sort of format of today?
Yeah, you arranged this event outstanding. It's always a challenge when you don't see the people you're talking to, and you're talking to the computer, but I think as far as online goes, it was really nice. Were good comments also at the end, I think, to all of us. So we're really happy. And I'm just looking here at the potential prizes, and we're really excited about some particular parts of that prize. So we'll try our best to get this.
Great. Thank you, and congratulations. So the next step for the three winners here today will be a video pitch that will be part of the semifinal and that the jury in the UK will look at. So I will be in touch with all the winners after this Swedish competition, And thank you so much to all the other participating companies. I think the pitches were great. It's a challenge to pitch over video for 2 minutes. And tough competition. I think there are so many good companies that will have a great fit for the UK market going forth. And
can I just add something, Björn? I want you guys, when you do the pitch, when you do the recording, stand up, practice every word that you have, and make sure, if you have a note, make sure that you have it in the camera level. That's going to be so much more. You get so much more strength from your buttocks when you actually are talking and you're waving yourself into action. Don't forget that.
Yes, and that's why us big-butted people do so good pitches standing up. Seriously. No, I have just one thing to add to the people going on to the semifinals. Do you mind if I jump in, Björn?
Go ahead, Donny.
No, just another tip. And this is a tip for everyone, everybody that did the pitch as well. One sort of general criticism that we had was that we felt that many of the pitches, even though they were good, didn't maybe sort of embrace this event as who am I pitching for, what am I trying to win, as in, the UK market, as in, this is what I'm pitching for. So going forward, for all of you is next time you pitch, don't just use your general pitch deck and then add on a last sort of couple of sentences of what it was all about, but reshape the pitch into what you are trying to win. So next time you're pitching, think of who's listening to me, what am I trying to achieve, where am I going with this, and then model your pitch after that. And especially now for the semifinalists, go for before you record the pitch, think about what am I trying to win in this round, and go for that and build your pitch on that. It's going to be great. We're going to win the whole thing. Awesome.
Of course.
Great. Thanks a lot, Donny, Annette, Jessica, and congratulations to WeHype, Vivalogica, and Formulate. I look forward to seeing you all soon again. And great job, everyone. Thank you so much for today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Don't hesitate to reach out.